Yeah, I mean, it was actually our first year at A&T. We were over at Winston-Salem State at D2 school and went to A&T late. Our coach got the job after spring ball. So we actually really struggled. It was a tough first year, but Sept State's a very storied program. Coach Jeffries back in the day was extremely good. Played for some championships, a bunch of games. FAMU, Bethune-Cookman's been awfully good down the stretch. I mean, it's very athletic, great region, and because it's 1AA, they get a lot of bounce backs where kids, whether they just get disenchanted where they are, they don't like where they're at, those signed D1 and transfer. So a lot of guys, when you transfer, if you go down, you play right away and without sitting out a year. Typically that league gets some bounce backs. Some guys maybe didn't do well in school or something, had an issue, but a lot of times it just didn't work out for a kid. He wasn't playing well, didn't work out, and he wanted to play right away. So I think quarterback from Bethune-Cookman watching that game was a Maryland guy that wasn't starting and graduated, was getting a 5th year. So, but very good football, very good athletes, very good. Coach Pugh's background. He's been in the SEC, was at Vanderbilt for a long time, been there 10, 11 years. That friend that coached there the last couple of years was with me at Miami and Northwestern. He's no longer there. Another very good friend was coaching at Bethune. So, no, where they're doing right now athletically. They've had a lot of success. Been to Orangeburg before. It's a good place. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'll say the question one more time. Yeah. How would you judge the first game on paper? Yeah. Prior, if we had that conversation on Tuesday for the first game. So you saw what happened on paper. So you need to come to play. So I don't think we're good enough to have enough success that we need to worry about what the paper says, meaning the paper of the stats or where you're at, or the star ratings or star. We're a work in progress. The team's trying to find its identity and growing, and it's more about us. Our biggest opponents this week is us to come out and continue. We made some improvement from 1 to 2. Can we do it again after we had another little setback? It's nice to see the team not quit and have a lot of fire and come back and compete and have a chance, and should have won it. We didn't. A lot of errors in a lot of ways that we'll clean up on the field and off the field as coaches. But the real deal this week is moving forward with us. And another good week of practice. Can we? I personally don't think yesterday was a very good start. Looking at the offense where I wasn't the response I would want after wasn't the worst practice ever. Monday's not the most physical, but again, there's a way that we come to work. I didn't think our Thursday practice was very good. I actually started it over 10 minutes in practice last Thursday, teaching our guys there's a way you go about our business. I think we're still learning that. So, we're, as I told them yesterday, even if you're a senior, you're kind of a freshman within our program, learning how we want to do things, and we're not clicking yet. We're a little bit off, and so to us, Sept State's the next opponent, and we need to start winning games. And no matter what the paper matchup is, I mean, if you have pro scouts walking the door, they'll have as many guys they're going to be looking at down in Orangeburg on their roster as we got on our roster right now. That's a fact. They probably got as many guys in the NFL as there are from Indiana right now in the NFL. That's a fact. So paper-wise, they're going to match up pretty good. Sometimes depth maybe won't be quite as good, but where's our depth and transition with the young program? So again, to me, this is week 3, and we're not where we need to be, and it's about working and getting better. That's not a slight at Sept State. We can't be sitting here last and rushing offense, sitting here last and rushing defense in the Big Ten, and being near satisfied where we are as we get ready to go into conference play. We got a lot of work to do. And 3 turnovers last game, all led to 13 points. Kicking errors. Blocked field goal. We got some penetration inside. Blocked. We had a lot of things. 2 personal foul penalties in the scoring zone. Lead to field goals from 3rd and 4, 3rd and 14 with the personal fouls. Some things that haunt us. So we're learning how to play. We're doing some good things, but we got a lot of work this week. So about us, and Sept State will come in as athletic and fast and solid on defense as most folks are going to play with a running style offense. Punt returners averaging 22 a pop on the kick. We haven't had 22 yards total in punt returns, and their guys averaging 22 a pop. So again, it'll be a challenge, and we better be up for it, or we'll be embarrassed. That's a fact. They got a simple, sound concept of defensive philosophy and structure, where they're sound in what they're doing, well coached in what they're doing. They'll pick their spots to blitz, and they do blitz. But I think, you know, they know they're going to have good enough athletes that they don't try to overcoach it. They got to be very, very solid, strong in their structure. The kids know where they're going. They know their gap responsibilities. They know the patterns, the reads of what's going on. When they blitz, they know how to pressure. But then I think, you know, as they play, because they've got good athletes, as you know what you're doing, you start playing fast. And you watch their kids, they cut it loose and play really good football. And so, you know, they played very reasonably well up at Central Michigan in the opener. They glitched a couple offensive opportunities. And I think you saw last week, I mean, Central was going neck to neck with Kentucky for quite a while. Actually, they had a chance to kite going into the second half to win that game against Kentucky. So Central's not a slouch. Been a very strong program recently. And they kind of towed up with those guys. And then they've played Bethune-Cookman that the last 2 years. Their league has came down to the winner of that game. So they've traveled to Central, played a pretty solid opponent. They played their best conference opponent. So they're kind of well tested coming in out of us game 3. Yeah, they're pretty active now. They might be smaller, but to me they look like they've got some strength to them. I mean, you look at just trying to gauge, look at size, looking at TV copies of film. So the guy might not have the stature, but you can tell they've got some kids that have been in the weight room. So with speed, I think Dustin also has some strength. I don't think they're going to sit there and be 300 pounds across the front and be this big wall you can't move. But I think they are going to be reasonably strong. They might not be the most overwhelming size guy, but they're going to strengthen. They are going to play with some speed. And they have speed in the front as well as the back end. The 2 safeties show up really, really good. One was a young man that started his career at Auburn. A couple of the linebackers are pretty active, and up front they're solid front. They play with some passion. You know, I mean, there's give and takes. You know, if we're talking about in the league going to a 9-game schedule, shoot, to me, all it's going to do is water down everybody's non-conference schedule. Because all we did is just guarantee 6 Big Ten losses by going to a 9-game schedule. We guaranteed 6 more teams will lose that week. You know, and I think like last week, the first week with the league was 10-2. Last week was 7-5. We're guaranteeing 6-6 when you play a conference game. So you're going to probably see some of that as you move forward. Whether it be, you know, we're in the shadows, and again, you look at how Toledo played last week, Ball State against us. Western going up there against Michigan, Western Michigan, and whatnot. I mean, the MAC schools are always going to be teams the Big Ten's going to play. And that being said, you can filter in. If you want to play a 1AA team, to me, I would like to play. I know we're playing Indiana State coming up. That makes sense because of fan base, whether it be other teams, whether it be in Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky's went D1, whether it be Illinois State or Southern Illinois. It'd be nice to play some teams within the region. But I think as we look to move forward, I think we're looking at potentially, 1AA, or what we call it, FCS, every 1 or 2 years. There's kind of one trickling in the schedule. Again, with the strength of your conference schedules, I think most people philosophically are going to try to get themselves in a position, especially where we are, where you can try to find a way to win some non-conference games. So, we need to, everybody says if you bring a good opponent, we're going to fill it up. Well, you're not going to fill it up, you're not going to win. The key thing is you got to find a way to win games. That being said, our thought process, when I say our, I mean the administration, we're going to look to try to play a regional team, possibly always a Mid-American team, maybe complement it with a 1AA. Then from there, I think, we got home and homes coming up with Wake Forest, South Florida, Missouri, some teams that have a nice feel to it, but I don't know if we overschedule non-league. We haven't won yet, so you handle it when you respond and win. So I thought they came back last week with some juice, but yesterday I just and trust me, all we did is we just went to the line and we ran for about 20 minutes. Because coaching's overrated when they don't practice hard, so we'll get the heart rate up one way or the other, so they can either practice harder, they can be a well-conditioned team. So yesterday we worked on our conditioning quite a bit. I think kids are reasonably resilient. I think they kind of march on in general. I think as coaches and fans and whatnot, we kind of linger and mull, second guess and all that. I think sometimes kids, they get in their daily life and it's on the next day, they're still growing. I don't know how many times kids, and I'm not saying that, I think we make a big deal about what we think they're seeing on Sports Center, reading in the papers. And I think the kids are being kids and they're going to class and Facebook and chasing girls and practicing ball, and I don't think they get caught up in that as much as we do. And so how they handle it, I don't know. To me, you handle it by the way you come back and you respond to correct the mistakes. Because the one thing, and we've repeatedly lost some games here, in close games, more than you would like to think you should. And that, again, makes me think, again, I don't think our talent is as far off as our will to win. And to me, it's the law of the jungle or whatever. Things are going to stay the same until you change them. So we'll continue to lose games until we change the way we practice, and we don't take it anymore. And that, to me, is, we can scheme and make coaching adjustments, and player adjustments, and player development, recruiting. We'll do all those things. But ultimately, we're not going to win consistently until that mindset is we refuse to lose. And you can watch some teams. There's a great one right now going on down south in the SEC that they got a knack for winning, and they just got a knack. I think they've won their last. I think they won 10 of 17 games that are one possession, and they've won 17 in a row. I think we're now 2-8 in our last one possession games. In my time, we're 0 for 2 in one possession games. We're in them, so we're being in them. We're just being on the wrong side. So I don't point fingers at the players, but I know how you respond. I know you come back fighting, scratching, clawing. Yesterday I didn't sense it, so we just got on the line and did a boatload of running. Because I'm not going to sit here and accept an average practice after not getting a victory. We're going to come back and fight and scratch and claim an identity. And I'm not mad at the way you play, but I don't like the way you respond to your practice. And we'll work. So to me, it's just the way you respond. You come back, you fight, you scratch, you claw for every inch, for every step, every second, every day, and that's what winners do. And right now we're learning how to do that. And we'll need to do that Saturday to win this one. Oh, I just asked the kids last. Somebody said a lot of guys were interested in it, and I didn't know if we'd have the option going to. So my thing was, is it red or white? So I just said, hey, let's do a vote. We had 84 guys in the room, and 76 guys wanted white helmets. It was a blind. Hey, you get a chance to know what do you want? So the kids wanted it. Then we're very fortunate with funding that we're able to have the opportunity to have two. When I brought it up, said, hey, I'm not for, I'm not, I don't know what our traditions are. I actually think our color's a smidge off. I think we're a little bit more crimson than it's coming out, but that's just by the dye and the material that was given to us. I like to think we're a little bit more of a darker shade of red, but that's not my call. I didn't, Adidas kind of threw the colors at us. That's the way the dye came out or something. So I'm not about changing school colors. The only thing I took the stripes off the top of the jerseys. I thought it looked a little, like some SEC teams. I just wanted a little cleaner look. That was it. So do we go forward with it? Yeah, we'll ask the kids each week. They have a preference. We could go, whites with whites, or whites with reds, or reds with reds, or reds with whites, and just mix it up as we go. Wasn't for good luck or anything. It just, I actually think the white would be a good look. Personally, I'd be interested to see maybe not. Yeah, well, that was 20 when it was 23-10. How many scoring opportunities we had in 7 quarters. So to me, it's like, hey, we're not getting down here a lot, and you're not going to win a lot of games by kicking field goals. So we got to score some touchdowns. So maybe we should have just left it where it was and went for it as an offensive 4th down play. We actually took the delay on purpose to make them think we're moving it back to kick. Thought we would have relaxed the rush, and it just wasn't there. But at the same time, again, we're going. The guy that makes the most mistakes every game, I can't tell how many times I said it's a bad call. I've said it for 20-some years now. It's a bad call. When I call was I think in there? Every time it doesn't work, I think it's a bad call. And because you could call it something else. Even though that guy missed the block or didn't throw it to the right guy, whatever, you made the choice, let's do this play. And I've done it for a long time, so there's a boatload of mistakes, but I don't worry about being criticized of it. And we're trying to win games. We're not trying to give them away. At the end of the game, we're trying to, hey, if we could get a first down and get up to the 40, we'll go 2 minutes. They had a couple of timeouts. First play was a run screen combo. They were trying to get the clock started, trying to get a first down. If we get moving, we'll get aggressive. If not, we'll go overtime. We threw the screen in the dirt. Next play, let's just run a screen pass. Guy caught it, ran out of bounds. So that's 3rd down. We're trying to get the first. We we threw a pass where we had a protection issue that was blocked right. The quarterback has an issue he has to deal with. We put him in a bad situation. He didn't deal with it right. We get haunted with the turnover. And it wasn't trying to be aggressive. It was trying to take some conservative ways of getting a first down. But that being said, the clock stopped 2 times. And we didn't get the clock moving. And that wasn't the intent, but that's how it worked out. So, again, taking gambles, I don't know. We're just trying to score touchdowns. And we need to score more. We're only scoring 25 points a game. And I know last year, I think this team won 5 games where it scored, I think it only lost 1 time when it scored more than 35 or 34. I know my success at Northwestern, the year we won a boatload of games, we scored 30s and 40s and 50 points. And again, that's a part of playing good defense, taking care of the ball, scoring points. And we can't be an offense. So we got to take the gambles that we think that can get touchdowns. And right now it's imploded. We got to keep pushing the envelope a little bit. It's also me telling our players, told them yesterday, I trust you guys. We've ran those fakes in practice every day. We're not doing it for practice. We're doing it during the games. I got confidence in you and trying to give those guys some guys. We're trying to build confidence. Hey, I'm going to be aggressive because, I can sit here and pucker up and get nervous about it. Now I got to be reasonably aggressive because if we want them to be aggressive, I know I have to be calculated. I know I can do a better job and be smarter. At the same time, I'm not about second guessing. I always analyze. I'm not about second guessing during the game. And we're going to try to put them in good situations. Don't work for them. Yeah, for Ed's doing, I think he's got to play a lot better personally, but I think we all do. I think when he got rolling in the second half, everybody got rolling. All of a sudden there was a little bit of run game. Line was blocking better. Then the protection got better. We got some rhythm. Defense got some stops. We got them a little bit tired because we were right back up, right back on them, and we were executing. We were sustaining drives. We were getting stops. We were wearing them out a little bit, and they actually looked to get a little tired, and we had momentum. So Ed looked good, as all quarterbacks do, when the surrounding things were going good. When the surrounding help hasn't been that good, he's been a little bit off. But he's got one pick in 2 games, and that pick was on a play where actually the tight end was breaking down protection. He's getting hit, and if he could throw it properly, it's going to be about 35, 40-yard shot. And we missed it. And so how many times has he thrown the play where you said, why'd you throw it there? You're beating us. You're throwing it amongst 8, 10, 12 guys. He's managing. Okay, now to me, he's missing some things. We've got some gimmies that we need to connect. And we've got it out in the middle of the fairway, and we got a chance to be aggressive with a wedge in our hand, and we are leaving it 30 feet away instead of, we got a chance to make one here, and we're not making it. And that's where he can grow and be so much better. What he's doing a great job, and why I don't think there's any issues with him so far, he is managing, he's communicating greatly, he's not forcing the football. Where he could be so much better, he's getting bluffed a little bit. He's not forcing the ball, but he's getting bluffed into thinking something's there when it's not. So we got to continue to, and that's just time on task, film study. I'm giving him a hard time all the time. We've got this 20-hour rule. But, quarterbacks typically watch more tape than coaches. Like, where are you at? I can't make him come, but I'm used to seeing quarterbacks a bunch because they study. And I can't make it mandatory because of rules. But, you don't make A's when you go to class and you go home and you never study. You don't go to grad school. You don't win football games. You don't play great quarterback play. And you don't continue to invest. And that's what with Ed, Dusty, Trey, all our guys, we're trying to teach them. Even though I can't make things mandatory, there's a way a quarterback prepares that gives him a chance. And as these guys are young, that's where, again, as a football team, I think we're grasping our way of doing business, our way of improving. We got a lot of work to do there because we could be so much better as a practice team, so much better as a respond team, how to respond to adversity, how to respond to a close game. I don't know. Somebody said, I think the other day, if we came back one again, the first comeback since like 8, 10 years or something like that. I don't know if that's true. I haven't studied history on that, but and to me, I don't think anything happened. We didn't have no pep talks. We didn't give them we didn't change any calls. All of a sudden, we just kept playing, and all of a sudden, it kind of popped. And that's what you do. We're just trying to teach our guys how to just keep practicing. And it's frustrating because I'm telling you, we work awfully hard. And I got issues right now with some guys that aren't playing well, that are starting to get that mode of not working hard. Because when you're not having success personally or as a team, that's where teams get funky. And they just don't bring it. Now, we responded last week and we brought it. And we didn't get the outcome, but there was a lot more energy through the week. It was a great week of practice. And we kind of stunk for a smidge. We weren't right clicking, but once we started clicking, we looked like a pretty solid, got a chance to do some good things. And it'd be interesting to see, as we go through this week, do we have enough maturity, leadership, or are we going to be the same old, and keep staying in a vicious cycle this year? Can we bust through it, keep gaining, get us a nice opportunity to improve this week, see where it takes us as we go into the following week, and then get the conference play. So, it was nice to see those guys click. I'm concerned we didn't finish it. I'm concerned as a coach I can do a better job. We'll work on that. But all in all, this is week 3, and the opponent this week 3 has got coming in with a lot of talent. And the real opponent week 3 is how do we respond, how we keep building what we're doing. Okay, that's good. About the same. I mean, he's still missing things. Again, I think sometimes, again, it's us as coaches. Again, we're looking at things where, for example, when you're missing some things, it's the kid's fault or your fault. How many times have you really practiced that? Did you really get him those looks? How much it's for him to play within rhythm. So as we're trying again to find an identity offensively, defensively, as we're tweaking things, trying to put our guys in better places, we're learning, growing, and filling each other out a little bit as a coach. How many times are you giving him that throw? And then you can say he missed in the game, but you got to go back. How many times they get on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? How many times did we put him in position to make that throw? And that's where, as coaches, I'm trying to help us manage, hey, what are we doing? Are we getting better? Because sometimes you start over-coaching, got to do all these plays, do all this stuff. With that being said, you never get good at anything. We're doing things over and over and over. So I think as a coach, we can help Ed out as he continues to grow. So did it slow down? I don't know. I think he missed some things that I'm sure he can eliminate. And at the same time, he's not been critical. He's not haunted us. But he can give us a greater chance to win if we can get more consistent play with him, and we'll work on that. But yeah. Yeah, and again, we get into some of these close games. Those guys hadn't came through. A couple of the freshmen played. We got to play some of those guys. They got to come through. And I don't know. Right now we got him at quarterback. Can we play him at one of those hybrid spots or play him a little bit in the kicking game? Well, I don't know. He doesn't have phenomenal size. He's still a little slight. So, but our thought process is he does some things in the running game. And he doesn't throw it poorly. We wouldn't become a wildcat team because Trey's in the game and it's just run. But we are trying to expand his role. But again, first 2 games we've gotten in games where it's got closer, hadn't went our way, hadn't executed. So some young players, not just Trey, some young receivers and some young linemen, some young defensive players have played. Probably not played as much as we'd like to. I'm challenging the coaches, have enough courage. We just got to play through it. Get those guys out there, throw them in the water, let them sink, let them swim, throw them out there and let them get playing. So we'll see. Okay. As we comment, it's one of our deals, start fast, finish strong, as far as one of our slogans. But in those drives probably started longer now. My comment to the team yesterday is we gave up 20 points in about 6 minutes of football. Wherever, I don't know the exact time. You could probably pin it down. It's probably 6:30 or 7:20 or something. But those couple drives, and of course, then we did have two turnovers. The 6 of the points are off a fumble on the offense and fumble on that. So that's not the deep. Matter of fact, it's actually, I think, pretty respectful for the defense to blow up and hold them to a field goal before half. That was huge. That actually gave us a chance because we could have maybe tanked it right there. And I think those guys responding and getting that stop right there helped us in the second half because we could have went south right there. And here we go again. At least they fought, responded, gave us a chance. The real deal, and the same thing happened at the Ball State game. We talked to them. We've gotten worked. The last drive of the Virginia game, first half. The last drive of the Ball State game, they had a long drive. They had a very long drive the other night. I think it was over 6 minutes, ballpark 5.5. That last drive, they just worked us. So as coaches, Coach Mallory and Coach Eckler will look at some tweaks with what they want to do with being aggressive or blitzing or or tendencies and whatnot. But the real deal is we got to make it stop. And then we, as an offense, we got to not turn it over and keep them off the field. Okay, guys?